I don't know what man needs to know and understand this, but as soon as a woman starts talking about leaving, just know that she's already planning her exit. What do I mean by already planning her exit? She might already be looking at apartments. She might have already contacted her friends and her family to figure out where she's going to live after she dumps your ass. It's not a warning. I'm telling you, the minute she starts talking about leaving your ass, it's already because she is planning it. And she already has 2 feet out the door and she's just getting her ducks in a row. So then when she wakes up and all the ducks are in a row, she's going to say, I'm leaving. So all she has left to do is pack her and leave you. And the reason why this method is so freaking toxic is because by the time that she gets to this stage, she thinks that her passive aggressiveness, her bad attitude, the way she supposedly communicates is what is going to get through to you. So she thinks, oh, I've already told him to take out the trash. Oh, I've already told him my love language is flowers and he's not doing it. Instead of actually sitting you down or going to therapy, she's not going to do anything to actually salvage the relationship and still be able to play victim and blame it on you. Even though she's essentially destroying both of your lives, especially if you have children together, because she's unhappy and her happiness is ruled and dictated by everything and everyone around her. And she realizes this only later on once you're gone and out of the picture, and she realizes that she's still miserable. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, bye.
A lot of women out here don't like to do anything. They want a man to fix everything for them, to do everything for them, to pay all of the bills. It's a pharmacist in one of the compilations that I covered, talking about I'll never do 50-50. Why? Why would a man be paying for everything and you're a pharmacist? You're more than capable.
Men don't like astrology because they can't learn it. They've tried. They've tried to understand it. They've tried to conceptualize it. It's just too hard. So they hate on it. You're welcome.
Men do not care about astrology because they don't need an excuse to gaslight people or to blame the ever-moving stars for their behavior. There are women out here that will continuously cheat and be like, oops, it's because I'm a Scorpio, I'm sorry. So many women love to use astrology as an excuse to have personalities. It's the same way that people will pick up religion or psychology to further gaslight people because they want to put labels on everything to avoid looking in the mirror as to why they're a person. Well, I'm sorry, but the stars aligning or the stars moving have nothing to do with the way that you're behaving today or the way that you're cheating or being a bitch to your boyfriend or your husband. Not to mention the majority of websites that have any kind of astrology, you can pretty much find whatever you want to hear because no 2 websites are the same. So make that make sense. It's not actually that it's because men are too dumb to learn it. They're actually just smart enough to understand that it's another form of manipulation and they don't feel the need to use it. And this is why I say so many times that men need to stay away from women that are obsessed with astrology, because I can guarantee you she's going to use that as an excuse later on to why she's treating you like shit. Or if something happens in the relationship, she's going to be like, oh, he was a Scorpio. And they use it as a sick obsession to avoid changing themselves or holding themselves accountable and then blaming other people for their actions and the stars aligning on everything that they ever do. Okay, bye. This next one is kind of a long one because I had to show both videos for context before I responded. So let's get right into it.
Soon-to-be ex-husband just pulled up to my house in a brand new truck, and I'm not really sure if I'm sad about it or if I'm mad about it. There's a little bit of both happening there because a brand new truck really mattered more to this man than his marriage and his dog. Which, I mean, if he wants to be the loser that lives in an apartment with a brand new car, then...
Since when is buying a truck loser behavior? But of course, her follow-up response is even better.
Fuck all this you want about my husband abandoning me, that he got out at the right time,
like
or
the
that
delusion.
He won. But let's not forget who's still sitting in the house, living their best life as some on the internet that you are actively supporting, while he's at work right now trying to make money for a truck payment. Seriously,
yeah, because he's an adult.
But I still rolled out of bed at 10:30 this morning while y'all were busy making my mortgage payment for me. Y'all literally don't know anything about what's going on his side of this situation because I'm not telling his story, I'm telling mine. But trust me when I say things aren't looking pretty for him right now. My husband left no house, no payout for the house because of the way he left things. savings. He was not granted one. He liquidated his retirement savings, so now he has no retirement savings either.
We all just talk about how desperate this man had to have been to want to get away from this woman. Like, she is coming online thinking it's such a flex, and she's basically bragging about how freaking lazy she is and how the internet is going to pay her bills. But why is nobody talking about the fact that this man wanted nothing to do with her so badly that he basically put himself in financial ruin? And the funny thing about it is she's using his financial struggle as like her flex to feel better about herself. But the funny thing about it is, like, this dude literally wanted to get away from you so bad that he actually did that to himself. But not only that, is he actually got his truck and still got his apartment and still got away from you, and you still are nagging and being annoying on the internet. Like, it's not a flex to be lazy and have the internet pay your bills when you've done nothing to deserve it or nothing that warrants any kind of success. It's lazy. And at the end of the day, these women get online and embarrass themselves about the type of people that they are, because I can guarantee you that if I had to come home to something like this every single day, I probably would have left too. It's absolutely embarrassing, and women need to learn to leave with class, because you gave no indication by making several videos about this man that you wanted to fix your marriage, but you wanted him to just suddenly wake up one day and fix his marriage over buying a truck. But this is a perfect example of how so many men will choose their peace over dealing with the toxicity. And sometimes peace is priceless. Okay, bye.
Question, you see a Suburban parked partway outside of a parking lot. How long does it take for someone to actually stop and ask if you need a jump?
The same amount of time that it takes for women to make false allegations or claim that he hurt you when he stops and pulls over to help you with jumper cables. You can thank all of the women that got on the internet and said that they would rather choose a bear over a man for all of the reasons that no one is pulling over to help you with jumper cables. Let's be so for real. This is a perfect example of why so many relationships are failing, because so many women expect men to read context clues instead of just communicating. For all a man knows, you're just waiting for someone to come pick you up because you've broken down and you've already called someone. Women will sit here and talk all of this online all day about men being useless, men being too feminine, men being pieces of men aren't worth anything, men can't do anything. What happened to all the real men? But then immediately when y'all want something, you're trying to figure out, where did all the men go? Well, you scared them into submission. And quite frankly, it wasn't that long ago when women were screaming at the top of their lungs saying to go choose a bear. So go find that bear in the woods to give you jumper cables. And this is what I mean. Y'all can't sit here and continuously treat men like shit, but expect positive results and relationships with them and expect them to step up for you when you need them, because the bottom line is men have learned their lesson and they're no longer stopping to help you because it's not worth the risk to have the cops called or something made up or something happen and he's okay, bye.
Hot take, I don't think men should be caregivers. We don't have the capacity to even care, let alone give. Evil.
When y'all have these supposed hot takes, do y'all not do research before you say any dumb shit like this? Do you know that it's over 50% of all mothers that have shown their children physical harm, either through spanking, hitting, biting, punching, and that doesn't even include unaliving their own children. And it's 6% of all total mothers that cause severe violent harm to their own children. Not only that, that doesn't include the amount of women who have discussed either with a mental health professional or a therapist or someone close to them, like their doctor, about wanting to physically harm their children because they suffer either from mental health issues or postpartum depression, or they hate their lives and they want to take it out on their children because they're single mothers and they're doing it all by themselves. Some of y'all really talk all of this, like, just say that you had a father. Just say you've never met a man who can actually be a providing, caretaking kind of a man. Say that you've never been able to attract a man that's even capable of being a caregiver. And what's even crazier is society literally is out here begging men to step up and to do better as fathers and stop, being a deadbeat dad. But then you all have these supposed hot takes where men shouldn't even be caretakers in the first place. So which one is it? Should dads be stepping up more often and not be deadbeats? Or are they supposed to just not be caregivers and not give up about anyone but themselves? Like, which one is it? Because y'all need to make up your mind. And some of y'all really need to stop projecting the fact that you never had a good father or a good caretaker onto men. A lot of y'all project all of your anger towards men when it should be directed at your mother for not providing you with a father who was a good enough caretaker, because your mom still picked your dad. Some of y'all really live in a delusional world where you actually think that no man in the world can be a caretaker, and it shows. And it shows that you've never, ever experienced someone that's able to take care of you, and you project that onto men. At the end of the day, it is more likely for women to harm their children than it is the fathers. Okay, bye.
Their hot takes come from them sitting around thinking that their life is a movie. That's where it comes from. They think their life is a book. And so they think that when they say this type of stuff, it actually sounds good. They don't really ever take stock of what they are, who they are, how they show up in relationships. They just think, if I go through a series of things, then I'm going to be healed. I've already done the work. The little tidbits that I've heard over and over again in therapy, I'm able to repeat them back to somebody, so that means that I know them. But I never actually truly practice them. So because I've gone to therapy, I'm better than a man. So therefore, I can tell him he's not improved, he's not healed. And then I can go from relationship to, that's what it is. It's just one big resume for a lot of these modern women. They go to therapy, they go to college, they get a house, they get a car, and then they say to a man, now look at my resume. I expect a raise, basically. They equate getting a richer man, not even a better man, a man that's more wealthy, a wealthier man, I should say. It's not great English. But they equate a wealthier man to a better man, a man with more integrity. Surely a man that was this ambitious must mean that he's a better man. That's the reasoning in their minds. And they wonder why they have so much trouble dating.
Why are men not men anymore? For the past 48 hours, I disassembled a bed, carried it to my car, all the parts, by the way, carried a vanity to my car, loaded it in the car, then drove to the storage unit to help my friend unpack everything, to get it on a gurney, to take the gurney up to the elevator, to take the elevator up to the 4th floor just to get it to a storage unit, and then have to lift it up again and take it back into the storage unit just to come back down to my car, just to go 5 minutes away, just to load back everything up in my car again. And you mean to tell me, out of the 5 million niggas that I called, and collectively out of me and my friend, that not one of them could come and help me carry a mattress?
Genuine question. Why is it that so many women think that they're entitled to a man's labor just because he's a man? It's the same way that y'all think that you're entitled to a relationship after you sleep with a man. Or the way that when you're in a marriage, you think that men are responsible for household labor and whatever psychology that you want to call it nowadays, even though you agreed by contract to be a stay-at-home mom. But I digress. These men do not owe you literally none. And where are your fathers to help in moving situations, or friends that actually give a shit about you rather than random dudes? But also, women have spent the last decade saying that they don't need a man, and men aren't, and you can do it all by yourself. Y'all got money. You guys are making your own money, so hire a moving company, which, by the way, is still men. Some of y'all treat men but then you still expect them to turn around and be there for you. And that's just not how the world works. And it's a woman's sense of entitlement that makes her think that just because she's friends with a man, that means he owes her his labor. Which also isn't how it works. Because when was the last time these women helped men in any capacity? You get exactly what you give. Y'all chose the bear for months, and this is the consequences of your own actions. But additionally, you don't get to pick and choose when equality best suits you. Y'all wanted equality, so I guess now you gotta figure it out. Okay, bye. A man asking you not to show your butt cheeks on the internet is not a man asking you to not yell at him is not a man coming to you to talk to you about your behavior is not a man talking to you about finances and ways to control your spending is not a man expecting you to have integrity and to act a certain way whether he's around is not a man wanting to know where you are and who you're with is not a man wanting to leave a relationship and not want to be with you is not a discard and is not a man not wanting to spend money on you because he's financially responsible is not a man wanting to relax and decompress after a long day and maybe play video games or go play golf with his friends is not the silent treatment. A man who is actually busy and can't sit on his phone and text you all day long is also not a man who tries to tell you how he feels about something, what he does and what he doesn't like is not a way a man parents your children that you have together just because it's not the way that you would parent is not a man is allowed to forget, and it's not gaslighting. People can be forgetful. It's not a women's number one problem in relationships is that they will turn everything into some form of a rather than trying to find ways to have a healthier relationship because it's easier to stay in victimhood and stay like, poor me, I'm so hurt, because that gives them more attention than it does to actually have a happy, healthy relationship, which is why they turn everything into some form of a kibai. So many women love to bring up the fact that they were so stuck in their last relationship because they had no money financially, but no one ever talks about the men that are stuck in relationships because they can't afford to leave. Because it's too freaking expensive to leave this person that is treating them like women love to talk about, oh, I was so stuck in a relationship. But what about the men that are stuck in relationships because they don't want to lose half their assets to an ungrateful, toxic ass woman? Or the fact that they don't want to go 50-50 with their kids and actually come home to an empty house. Or have $70,000 in lawyers' fees where you're paying 2 lawyers and these lawyers' only goal is to get as much money as possible. Y'all never want to talk about the men in these situations, but then you come online and talk about how men don't even like their wives, but you have never ever considered the fact that these men are stuck. They're stuck in loveless, toxic, unhappy relationships because they literally cannot afford to leave. But not only that, when men get the courage to finally speak out about their situations or decide to go to therapy to get help, y'all will invalidate them. And I don't know what man needs to know and understand this, but princess treatment was created to keep you disrespected by women. Let me explain. Princess treatment is a made-up concept that women use in order to change the power dynamic within a relationship so she can be above you and control you. Princess treatment is used to use your wallet, use your ideas, use your respect, use your self-worth, and diminish you to nothing because she deserves princess treatment. And it is made up by women so they don't have to reciprocate the same energy because they will never give you prince treatment in return. It is inherently selfish and a sense of entitlement that women have created because they're supposedly princesses. Like, think about it. How many men out there have treated a woman very well, given her princess treatment, and you've gotten nothing in return? Is that not a sense of a power dynamic that is unfair, created by women to keep you below them? It essentially tells you that you are beneath me and you need to do what I say and say as I do. Otherwise, you're going to get dumped for not treating me like a princess. And nowadays, women will turn it around and say that you're because you're not falling for this said princess treatment. Not only that, is it gives women an excuse to dodge accountability, be disrespectful, talk down to a partner, be selfish, be rude, be unkind, all in the name of I'm a princess and you're going to give me exactly what I want when I want it, and it doesn't matter how hard it is for you to obtain because it's unrealistic in the first place, you're going to give it to me anyway. These women will expect princess treatment and never give you anything in return, and you will spend your entire life giving them princess treatment and still being treated like kibai.
Well, that's a really good point there, specifically the one that you made about they don't have to reciprocate it, but then also them being above you. So a prince, or not really even a prince, a peasant, they put you in their mind as a peasant. So they're thinking this, so good points, but they're thinking this guy should be so glad that he's able to give to me. But then also when you start holding them accountable, and then when you start putting your foot down, I'm a princess, I'm soft, I'm fragile, don't talk to me like that. How dare you talk to a princess like that? Then they curl up. So they're also using it to manipulate you emotionally. Unfortunately for some of these women, not good people.
I caught her talking to other men, and she won't get out of my car. Now she's crying. So I caught her talking to other dudes. Oh, wow, that must be sad. God, that must be terrible. Oh, man. What were their names again? I love how you said they were just your friends and you were sending them ass pictures. Get the f*** out of my car.
This is a perfect example of why when she says that these dudes are just her friend, she is full of Let me tell you what she means when she says he's just a friend. It means 1, he's the backup plan if something happens. Number 2, it means that they have already hooked up and she's keeping him again on the back burner so her body count doesn't go up if the relationship ends. The other thing that it can mean is that she basically chose you as her second choice. So if that dude becomes available, she's gonna dump your ass. And lastly, what it also means is that they haven't hooked up yet. He still wants to hook up. She's kind of interested in it because she's not really interested in you and you're basically just a placeholder. Stop letting these women tell you that these men are just friends. There is literally no such thing. And for every single person that comes in my comments saying, oh, it's insecurity. No, not with Snapchat nowadays, not with all these hidden messages that you can hide on Facebook. You need to be cautious, be aware, stop being naive, and not let these women play you. And lastly, let's just remember that she's only crying because she got caught. Not only is that manipulative, but what it does is it turns the good men bad. So congratulations on making yet another good man turn bad, where women have no accountability for their actions like this. But what it also does is it ruins it for the rest of the women that are out here actually crying and getting their feelings hurt because men can't decipher the difference between being manipulated and real tears. Okay, bye. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but if you have multiple dudes around your kids, that doesn't mean that you're a good mom. If you don't know how to accommodate co-parenting and you keep taking the father's days because you're selfish and then you don't let him make up his days, that doesn't make you a good mom. Because you're not accommodating your children, you're accommodating yourself. If you make your baby daddy get drug tests and make him jump through hoops just to have bare minimum time with his children because you're bitter and broken and unhealed, that doesn't make you a good mother. Just because you have the finances to support children as a single mother doesn't make you a good mom. Just because you show up at every single school event or, baseball practice or soccer practice or cheerleading practice or whatever the fuck it is that your kids are into doesn't necessarily make you a good mom. Because a lot of y'all think that just showing up and being present means that you're a good mom. But in the meantime, you talk about the father. You can't look at your son because he resembles the father of your child. You don't like your daughters because they're in competition with you as they grow up. You don't even like being around them, or you make them basically a mini-me, a version of yourself because you want to duplicate and replicate yourself, and it's toxic behavior because you're not actually parenting. You're trying too much to be besties with your daughter. Oh, and if you're only planning family trips because you want to go away with your boyfriend and it has nothing to do with your kids, that also doesn't make you a good mom, and that doesn't also count as quality time. Okay, bye. I don't know what man needs to know and understand this, but if you do not want to simp over your girlfriend or your wife or whoever you're trying to get to know, she is not the one for you. If you get annoyed by having to do something for a woman that you are supposedly interested in, she's not the one for you. Because I say this time and time again, the woman that is meant for you is going to elevate you. It is going to make you want to be a better man, a better person. You both are equally going to reciprocate that energy and pour into one another. And there is no such thing as simping if you are with the right woman. But hear me when I say this, it's reciprocated energy. If y'all are doing this one-sided simping, then absolutely, it is simping. But if you are genuinely in love with the person that you're with, no matter what you do for her, big or small, is important to you. Because your only goal in life is to elevate her life so she can filter that back into you. You can filter it back into each other. And if you have a family, put that into the kids and all of the things going on around you. A lot of you confuse treating your woman like a queen, like the one that's meant to be your queen, as a simp, and that's where y'all make the mistake. Now, if you're just out here simping over some 304 that's got an OnlyFans, then that's on you. But I'm talking about a real, legitimate, good-ass woman that takes care of you and you pour into each other. There is no such thing as simping if it's for the right woman. Okay, bye.
Sure, let's talk about the men that say all women are crazy. First of all, if you're in a relationship with a man who actually believes this, leave. This is misogyny, and if he isn't open to hearing that now, this will not get better. This kind of stuff is based off the hysterical woman stereotype. This is the stereotype that women are illogical beings that are quickly taken over by their emotions and irrationality.
Right, just blame men.
Now remember,
all the
misogyny
time.
is not just the blatant hatred of women. It's patriarchy's long...
I guess I'm going to be the only honest one to come out and say it. And yes, I absolutely think that all women are crazy. And if that makes me misogynistic, then congratulations, I guess that I am. And the only difference between the craziness is basically the level of crazy that you're going to get out of a woman. So you have the first type of woman that will unalive you in your sleep. Then you have the other type of woman that would like slash your tires or put glitter all over your apartment after you cheat on her or do her wrong. Then you have every now and then the woman that's just crazy, either on her period or has emotional outbursts because she's unable to regulate her emotions, which is most women. And then you have the sneaky, manipulative, narcissistic women that don't think they can do anything wrong and they don't think they're the problem and they don't seek therapy. The only difference between the different levels of crazy is whether or not women have self-awareness enough to get themselves into therapy so they can either be better humans or better partners or even attract better people. But the other problem is you have to have self-awareness instead of getting so offended that people say that all women are crazy. Like, you have to ask yourself, what is it about yourself that you get so offended by people saying that women are crazy? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. In fact, I think the majority of people are crazy, but that's another topic for another day. So y'all are weird. You need some therapy. We're all a little weird. We're all a little bit crazy. And I just don't think it's misogynistic to say that all women are crazy, because we absolutely are. Okay, bye.
Well, for men, I think it's all about how these emotions are used against them. A man automatically knows, he understands emotions, right? A man is going to understand how emotions factor into a person's everyday life. Who better than a man to know what emotions are like and the different versions of emotions, especially having to go through the intense highs and lows of trying to be successful, especially in today's society. So he understands and he gives grace, he gives space for the emotions. But the problem is, for a lot of modern women, they try to take advantage of that. That's when we go back to princess treatment, right? Or I'm just a woman, I'm just a girl. That means I just didn't think at that point in time, and I'm just a girl. You can't expect me to, because I was carried away, I was taken away in the moment. So many women have this main character, celebrity, movie energy to where, oh, that was just a moment in time. I felt that way in a moment in time, and I shouldn't be held responsible for what I was thinking back then. It's accountability. People understand emotions. Men understand emotions. It's just that some of these women out here do not want to be accountable for what they're saying and what they're doing. And it's making men, or it's causing men to walk away.
All right, fellas. We need to talk about two things, okay? Hear me out. The first one is that if she chose another man, why are you picking up that phone? If she did not pick you and left you for some other dude, why are you texting her back? Why are you giving her the time of day? Why are you making it easy for her to come in and out of your life when she has literally showed you in her actions that she doesn't want you? That's number one. But number two, if she comes back to you after y'all have broken up or you guys don't talk anymore, she is telling you without telling you that she was the problem, and she's likely only coming back to you just to right her wrongs in her own brain. She will tell herself like, oh, I'm going to treat this man good the second time around, just so she can redeem herself. It has nothing to do with you, so she can walk away thinking that she was never the problem, even though just by her coming back, she's telling you she was the problem without telling you. And if y'all have any self-respect and dignity and love yourself and actually give a shit and respect yourself, if a woman does you wrong, you do not let her in and out of your life. You do not let her come back. I don't care what she tells you. I don't care if she's giving you all the stuff and saying everything that you want to hear and making you feel good. It doesn't matter. She is doing it for her own personal gain and her own self-serving, tendencies and narcissism. A lot of women will really try to come back into your life just to feel like they weren't the problem, even though they're showing you in their actions that they actually were the problem. Okay, bye. This should be common sense, but ways to know if she's using you for attention. The first sign is if she always says yes to hanging out, but actually never hangs out with you. The next one is only hitting you up to talk about her feelings and what she has going on, and she's never interested in your day. The next sign is that anytime you mention going on a date with her, she'll change the subject or say that she's too busy. Any woman that genuinely likes you is gonna want to hang out with you, even if you guys are both just sitting there on your phones not saying a word, because your presence around her matters. The next one is that if you guys do hang out, she will avoid any physical touch. I'm telling you that when a girl likes you, she will basically let you be physical in any kind of capacity. Next one is that she will only talk to you to initiate asking you for money or using you for a ride or something that she can get out of you. And lastly, the last one that is so obvious is that she's going to do everything on her own terms, meaning that any plans you make, any initiation, any talks about dates or the future or being something more is going to be completely out of your control, and she's only going to hit you up when it's beneficial to her. A lot of people would call this the friend zone, but there's a lot of women out here that are just using men for attention that aren't even in the friend zone. They're just simply using you to have somebody to talk to when there is no one else, because they can't go even a single second without having a plethora of guys giving them attention and validating them. So I hope this helps. Okay, bye. One of the worst things a man can do is get yourself stuck with a broke ass chick. And what I mean by that is the women that are so entitled that they make minimum wage, but they expect you to make over $100,000 a year and pay for her hair, her nails, her outfit for a first date. These are the types of women that think Cheesecake Factory is below them when they cannot even afford Cheesecake Factory for themselves. These are the women that are going to complain that he didn't pay her rent or her cell phone bill after a month of dating. Like, y'all don't even know each other and you have your hand out like you're freaking panhandling. I am so tired of these women having this sense of entitlement that they are expected to be given everything and give nothing in return. You don't want to cook, you don't want to clean, you don't want to take care of a household, you don't want to take care of a man, you don't want to do anything but exist. And most of y'all are lazy, mean, rude, and selfish, and I don't understand why any man would want to put up with that. And I'm talking about modern day society, and I don't know who told y'all that it was acceptable to treat men like but still have your hand out and expect him to pay your way. He's not your father. Dating and the OnlyFans and everything, it all has become just one big legal escort service, and women are proud to do it. But the minute that a man sexualizes a woman, now it's a problem, even though women have no problem sexualizing themselves. Like, make it make sense. It's just absolutely crazy to me. Okay, bye.
I will never understand why men are so mad about the society they created. Yes, the
Being a provider also means providing financially as well. If my value exponentially drops the day I turn 30 based on your society, and I'm not compensated for the years I step away from work to be a mother, then better believe you need to go to work and you need to pay these bills. For the record, misogyny hurts us all, but don't be mad. Don't be mad. This is what you wanted.
Who is telling you guys that men don't want to be providers and that they're mad at providing? Because there is not a genuine whole ass man that is mad about providing. What they're mad about is being taken advantage of. They're mad for working 3 jobs, trying to provide a secure, healthy home for you to raise the children in, just to come home to you nagging or being unappreciative at all of the hard work that he does because you expect it and your entitlement doesn't allow you to appreciate. Some of these men are busting their asses so much just to come home and hear that it's not good enough. And why is it not good enough? Because his wife spent 6 hours on social media and all she's seeing is people's highlight reels about how their lives are better. So now she's miserable and upset because he can't fill a void that's pretty much fake and imaginary and delusional. So yeah, men are not mad at providing for the right woman. They're mad at being taken advantage of and having these women be so unappreciative and ungrateful. And what does he get in return? He's going to end up divorced. He's going to lose time with his children even after he's been providing for 10 plus years. So you cry about missing 10 plus years of your life and you want to be compensated. But how are the men compensated other than losing all of their divorce and then not seeing their kids enough? And the only women who want to spew out any type of misogyny or misogynistic point of views are women that lack empathy to understand a man's point of view. Okay, bye. And someone explained to me what it is that men get in return for being a providing man. I'm talking about the men that show up emotionally, physically, financially, and never complain because they take pride in providing for the woman in their life. It actually makes them feel good to see the women in their lives happy. What do they get in return other than these narcissistic, nagging, controlling women? These women will put everything on the internet. Outfit of the day goes on the internet. Relationship in trouble, go to the internet. Dating advice, go to the internet. Horrible dating scene, go to the internet. What is it that these women are giving in return if they don't want to cook, they don't want to clean, they don't want to have children, they don't want to give anything in return other than simply existing and looking pretty? And the majority of women are not even attractive enough to be having a laundry list of expectations. Let's just be for real. You take off the filters, you take off the Botox, you take the lip filler away, you take the lashes away. You have not an attractive woman. Or at least not a 10 out of 10 like these women have their inflated egos. So you get to be treated like you get to be called narcissistic. If you have money, she's going to call you broke. She's going to pretend that she's like this victim, but behind the scenes, you're providing for her while she sits on her phone and seeks attention from other men. So tell me, what is the incentive for these men to continue to provide for these women who do nothing but shit on them all day long? And then if they actually decide to commit to these women because these women love to put on a show and know how to fake a good personality to get the ring or get the bag, then he actually runs the risk of losing everything that he worked so hard for. These women are not worth paying for submission. So make it make sense. What is it that incentivizes a providing man to continue to look for a good woman? Okay, bye. Can someone explain it to me that when women say that they don't need men, do they not consider the fact that they were conceived because a man helped out? Or when they say all men are trash, all men are stupid, all men are useless, are they talking about their dads, their cousins, their brothers, or anyone that is a man that is important to them? And if they're not, then that means they're talking about specifically the men that they date, which the men that they choose and the men that they pick is their choice, correct? And then let's not forget all of the single moms who likely have sons that get online and say all men are trash, as if they didn't procreate and create a child that will eventually become a man, and she's spewing out all this hatred, and then she wonders why her son grows up to have like less self-esteem, low self-worth, and thinks that his mother hates him. Yeah, make that make sense. But then women love to use their sense of entitlement when it comes to the female privilege, where they think that men owe them, picking up their leaves and raking their front yard and cutting down their trees or picking up stuff that's heavy. So a lot of these women will get online and say how much men suck, but still expect those same men that suck to help them out whenever they want, just because they're a woman. Like, last time I checked, you can't talk about people and treat people like shit and still, expect favors from them. Okay, bye. Let's just call it what it is. The reason why men are not talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is because they don't want it used against them later on. Because we all know damn well, if your wife or your girlfriend wanted to come up to you and talk about your feelings and your mental health and where you stand and what you needed help with, or where she could possibly even contribute to helping you be emotionally and mentally strong, well, guess what? The minute that she's mad, she's going to be throwing it in your face. So for all of you that are out here trying to promote this mental health awareness when it comes to men, the idea is great, but the implementation of it actually working and having an effect on men is probably diabolical, because it's only going to create more problems later on. With that being said, I will never be a man. I will never know the graphs or the depths to feeling alone and isolated and being in a crowded room where nobody gives a shit about how you feel. Do I care about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Absolutely. Y'all have been messaging me to make a post about it. But as a woman, I can never fully grasp what it is to be a man. Do I think it's overlooked? Yes. Do I think that we need more awareness about it? Yes. But that would mean that men would have to talk about their feelings, and we all know damn well that when men talk about their feelings, they're told to shut the hell up. They're told that their feelings are invalid. They're told that, suck it up and be a man. The only time a man's feelings actually matter is when a woman has already walked out of her life and she's only talking about him to call him a narcissistic piece of shit. Me coming on here and trying to pretend to know how y'all feel on a regular basis feels inauthentic to me. What I can say is I have empathy and compassion for the struggle that you go through. Okay, bye.
I think this is one of the reasons that, like Kevin Samuel said, women sit at the finish line and they pick the winners, is because throughout that race, the men have essentially, and I'll get to this point in a minute, but it's funny how women pick, but the ones who win, they've essentially overcome a great deal of adversity. When you start the race, you're extremely happy, you're excited, you got a whole bunch of energy. Then at some point in time during the race, I'm not a runner, so I wouldn't know, but genuinely the logic behind the race is that once you get into it, you get tired, your legs get heavy, you get weak, tired, hungry, thirsty. All my bodily functions decide that now's the time that I need to do whatever I need to do, and you get really mentally weak at that point in time. If you haven't done the work to fortify where it is that you want to be, and that's the finish line. You want to cross the finish line, right? And you want to do it at the highest level. So you want to cross the finish line first, right? They'll go through these emotions, whether it's adversity, happy, sad, angry, frustrated, and then they'll overcome all of that to win the race. And a lot of these modern women will stand at the end, and with nothing in hand, by the way, nothing to offer, just say, congratulations, I'm your prize, you get me. But the rich man or the man who won the race are like, what else? what else do I get? Like, I want some food. I want X. I want Y. Yeah, I can demand what I want because I won the race, right? But I think another thing that's crazy is how they pick. They'll look at a man and say, you didn't even finish the race. Regardless of if a man, it'd be one thing if he started and then he just didn't even start running. Like he's like, I'm going to run the race, and he didn't even start. It'd be one thing if he started running the race and within the first couple of steps, he's like, oh, this is not for me. And he wasn't hurt. There was nothing wrong. He just didn't want to do it. It'd be one thing. But there's a lot of men out there that are actually starting the race. They're just not coming in first. They might go through the race. They might end up dead last, but finish the race. And you have women in the comments. You have women, some women out here that will laugh at the man. Oh, you came in last, ha ha ha, and they're not even in the race. they be dead last, and what they got going on. In that next race, that man will use that to fuel him and say, okay, I improved my position. I'm next to last, okay, and then I'm 3 positions up, and then I'm halfway, so I'm about the 50% mark. And all through their life, they'll improve their positioning. And the woman, after she's done all this, oh, I picked the winner and I went and spent the night with him, picked the winner, went and spent the night with him, over and over again. Once that man that was dead last comes and he's maybe not first, but he's like in the top 10, then women will say, I actually want that one, because, you know, maybe he's not first, but the man that was first only wants me for a night, and I've got 2 kids by him. This man I've seen over time has steadily improved his position. So now this is the man that I want. And the man that's coming in top 10 is like, you know what? I can't have every woman in the world that I want, but I'm definitely not going to pick you. Not at all. What you're giving me, unfortunately, is like when they give somebody like a crushed up bottle of water that's been stepped on. At that point, that's what you're like to me. I'll take a ribbon at this point. But what you're trying to give me is garbage. I don't want that. You're not good enough for me now.